Hey guys, Ike here from IkesOutdoors.com. Today I want to talk to you about opening a shop. I get this question a lot, and I've actually been through this myself. When I originally started Ike's Outdoors, it was originally Ike's Archery. So I've been through this quite a bit, and I get this question from time to time about how do I go about starting a shop, and what do I need to do to get a shop going. Well, the first thing you need to do is get all your county and state taxes, licenses, business licenses, and stuff like that in place. And I can't really tell you how to do that because I'm sure that's going to differ from state to state, but it really wasn't that difficult for me. It was basically a trip to the courthouse to get my license and a form I filled out on the Missouri I can't remember what the website was, but basically a form I filled out to get a tax ID number, and I got my business license, and that was pretty much all I had to do to get ready to set up and go. So once you have that in place, the next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to set up suppliers. There are a ton of good suppliers out there. I used Ultra LLC when I first started. They're a good one. They have no minimums, so you can order 1 to 2 things at a time, and they're not as cheap as others, but they're a little bit easier to get started with than some. So Ultra LLC is a pretty good one. The one I used most was Papes. Papes is an outstanding company. They have really good prices. Their minimums are small, their charges are pretty small, and they've got a really good wide selection of stuff, and their customer service is very good as well. I have quite a few accounts set up with different wholesalers for different things, and I use Papes a majority of the time, and you can just Google that and it'll give you the website, but it's P-A-P-E''S, Papes Inc., Papes LLC, I believe, like that. But if you Google Papes Wholesale, you're going to come up with Papes as well. Jake's is another good one. There's several good archery wholesalers out there, so you need to get you can Google archery wholesalers and get set up with someone there. But like I said, Papes was about the favorite of mine to deal with. Ultra was another good one just because they're so easy to get set up and get going with. So get yourself set up with a wholesaler. Now, one thing you're going to want to do before you research or before you get started is research what bows you want to carry and see what dealers are close to you, because a lot of the bow companies out there are going to have some requirements, and one of the first requirements is they are not going to let you have a dealership, and I don't care how much money you throw at them, if there's a dealership in your city. And if they have someone who carries Hoyt in your town, you're not going to be able to carry Hoyt. And that was one of the problems I ran into around here was when I closed down Ike's Archery and thought about starting again doing Ike's Outdoors, all the main bow companies were taken. There's so many archery shops that popped up around here all of a sudden, and Hoyt, Bowtech, Matthews, all these companies, PSE, all the big name companies, and a lot of the small ones were taken. So it was going to be really hard for me to get in with a name brand, big name bow company, which I hate to say it, there's a lot of really good small companies out there, but you need that big name brand in your shop as well. You need a Bowtech, you need a Matthews, you need an Obsession, or you need a Bowtech, you need a Matthews, you need a Hoyt, you need a PSE. You need one of those to go along with Obsession, New Breed, Struther, to go along with those kind of bows. So do some research and find out if there's those type of dealers in your area. If there's not, then the next thing you need to do is you're just going to have to contact that company and see what you need to do to get set up with them as a dealer. Now, a lot of these guys are going to have minimums, and it's going to require you to buy a minimum amount of bows per year, and it's going to require you a minimum initial purchase of bows as well. So when you get into bows, you're going to be plunking down quite a bit of money. Now, it's just like any business or any wholesale company out there. The more you buy, the better price you're going to get. I believe it's one of the companies out there has bronze, silver, gold, platinum level, and each level you get to is because you bought more bows, and the higher up you get on those levels, the better price you're going to get for the bows that you buy. So when you go in to do this, there's going to be a minimum. You're going to have some money in your pocket. I'm talking you're going to have to buy, to get to the platinum level, I can't even remember what it was, but you're going to have to buy 100 to 150 bows a year to get to that platinum level with some of these companies. To get your initial investment, you may have to buy 20 bows. So I believe that was pretty standard, was 20 bows per year to get set up with them. Now, it's also good to get set up with Papes is an awesome awesome wholesaler, don't get me wrong, and you can buy a lot of stuff through them that you cannot buy directly. You can buy just as cheap from them as you can from some people without a minimum. But you're also going to want to probably get set up with arrows, sights, arrow rests, and stuff like that directly from the companies and become a direct dealer for those companies. There's some added bonuses to them as far as like swag, shop paraphernalia, training, different stuff like that. So you're going to want to contact them and get set up with someone like that for your arrow supplies and everything like that. So basically you're going to have your mainline bow set up directly through the company. You're going to have some of your products directly set up through companies, and that's I suggest products that you're going to sell a lot of. Like I said, arrows, sights, rests, those type of things that you're going to sell a lot of. It's probably better to buy them straight from the manufacturer rather than Papes. And then you use someone like Papes for your off-brand arrows that you just want to carry, your cheaper stuff, maybe your broadheads, because you carry such a wide variety of broadheads. Everybody seems to want to shoot different stuff. Your field points, your vanes, stuff like that you're going to have to carry a wide variety of, is probably better to cover with a wholesaler. Now, once you get all that set up, and you get your shop all set up, you can buy your tools through the wholesaler as well. So, like, I've got all my shop tools here. The majority of these I bought when I owned my shop and got all my tools at a wholesaler's price. So I got them from Papes or from Ultra and got them a little bit cheaper. So don't go out and just buy all your tools initially. If you already got them, that's great. But if you don't have tools, wait till you get set up with Papes or with Ultra or with someone like that to buy your tools, because you're going to get a significant discount with them. You're talking 30 to 40% probably with them. And trust me, when you're buying a press, you're buying 2 dozen arrow fletchers, you're buying all the shop tools that go with it, arrow saws and stuff like that. It's a significant amount of savings. So set up with them before you start buying a bunch of your shop tools if you don't already have them. There are a couple things to consider too on not carrying. In my area, I live in the Midwest and we have Walmart everywhere. We also have Academy right down the road. We have I'm probably an hour away from the headquarters of Bass Pro. I've got a Cabela's probably an hour and a half away, and you guys are probably very, very similar to that. There's some things that I just could not carry and compete with Walmart. I never carried clothing because I couldn't compete with Walmart's price. If someone wanted to order clothing, they could come in, and usually if they did, it was something high-end that they couldn't get at Walmart, couldn't get at Academy, and they wanted to order it from someone locally. The high-end stuff like clothing, occasionally I sold, but it was not worth keeping in the shop. Another thing that I did not sell very much of was tree stands and ground blinds. I just didn't sell. They can run down to Walmart, they can buy that stuff. They can run to Academy, they can buy that stuff. And in my area, Bass Pro and Cabela's, and they can buy that stuff cheaper because they buy it by the hundreds and thousands, where I'm buying it by the ones and twos. So tree stands and ground blinds did not do very well for me either. So another thing that didn't sell very well for me was packs. I had some high-end packs in there, and the high-end stuff did sell a little bit. I'm talking your Badlands and stuff like that did sell a little bit, but the cheaper stuff, like they carried at Walmart, the guys were going to Walmart and they were getting it cheaper there. So there are some things that you may not want to carry when it comes to your shop, just because you can't compete with Walmart and Academy and these other shops with it. Now you're gonna blow them out of the water as far as service goes, especially like Bass Pro and Academy and Cabela's. Those companies that do service bows. If you're a good bow technician and you're good with customers, you should just absolutely blow them out of the water when it comes to service. And one of the things I ran into was a guy who, if he sold, the kind of bows he sold were different than the kind of bows that were sold at Academy and Bass Pro. So if you came in with a Bass Pro model bow or an Academy model bow and wanted him to set it up for you, he'd actually charge you 25% more. And he had it right up there in big letters. If you bring in a bow from a big box store, expect to pay 25% more for setup. Now, if you bought a bow from me, I set it up for free. So that's something to keep in mind too. If a guy comes in and spends $1,200–1,300 bucks on a bow, I'm going to do the labor for free. I'm going to cut his arrows for free. I'm going to do labor for free on stuff like that. Even if a guy comes in and buys a $300 bow, I'm going to do the labor for free. But whenever a guy would come in with a Bass Pro bow, especially a redhead bow or something like that, I actually would give him 25% off. So it encouraged them to come back to me rather than going back to Bass Pro. And I don't want to compete with Bass Pro on prices, but I want to compete with them on service. So when a guy comes in with a redhead cryptic or something like that that I know he bought at Bass Pro, I'd look at him and I'd ask him, like, did you buy this bow at Bass Pro? And they say yes, and I would actually give them 25% off. Because most of the guys I know don't want Bass Pro touching their bow. So I can't compete with them on prices, but I can compete with them on service. So that same guy, the next time he goes out and he wants to buy a bow, even if he does go to Bass Pro, more than likely he's going to bring it back to me, and I'm going to make some money off of labor at least. So I may not be able to compete with him on sales, but I may make a little bit of money off of labor from sales that they do make. And hopefully the next time that guy wants a bow, he may, if I do a really good job setting his bow up, really friendly, and we get along really well, he may not go to Bass Pro. He may come to me instead and have me set that bow up for him, or buy that bow from me and have me set it up for him. So, I don't discourage people to bring me bows from other companies. I always, or big box stores or used bows or anything like that, I always encourage them to bring it to me, and you will find you're going to make very, very little off of actual sales. Your actual sales you're going to make 30 to 40%. A bow is going to cost you, and this is completely made up numbers, guys, so don't be thinking this is right, but say a bow costs you $500 to buy. You're going to put it up on the shelf. You're going to charge $700 for it. You're probably going to sell that bow for $650. So you're going to make $150 off of that bow, which is great. $150 off a bow is not that bad. You're going to sell a bow, if you're a big shop, you may sell 2 to 3 of them a day. You may sell more than that. But if, like for me, I hate to sound arrogant, but I'm a really good bow technician, and people brought their bows to me from a long long ways away to have me tune their bow. And when I would put new strings on a bow, I would make a little bit of money off the strings. I'd charge $25 to change strings and have that bow completely set up. And that was $25 of profit that took me 20 minutes to do. So, and when it got close to season, I would change strings. I would set in my shop and change strings for 10 to 12 hours and tune bows. And I would do a ton more of that. I would make $500 to $600 to $700 a day in a shop during the peak of my season, and $450, $500 of it would be from labor. The rest of it would be from percentage of sales. And I mean, that was the way it was for me. That may not be the way it is for you. So I know this has been a pretty lengthy video. I started out with this just trying to cover it in 5 minutes, and now I'm approaching the 14-minute mark. So I hope this helps. Hope this helps you guys get your shop set up if you're interested in doing it. I will never set a shop again, and I'll tell you why. And it's because I love to hunt. It never fails. Guys don't get ready till the day before season or during season. And I worked a full-time job. I worked a 40-hour-a-week job. Plus, when I left there, I was going straight to the shop, working there till late at night, working the weekends. I got to hunt Sunday mornings, and that was it. And that was skipping church, God forgive me. But that was skipping church so I could go hunt on Sunday morning. And that was about it. That was about all the hunting I got to do. Now, if I was running a shop full-time, maybe things would be different. But you have to take that into consideration as well. I didn't have time to shoot 3D. I didn't have time to hunt. I didn't have time to do anything. And God has blessed me now by getting me away from a shop and letting me do this YouTube channel, so I can still be active in the archery community and still be kind of doing the things that I love to do and still be doing the other things that I love to do. So take that into consideration when you decide I'm going to go set up a shop. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort. So it may pay off in the end. It may, it may really be worth it, but you have to take that into consideration. So hopefully this helped. For more product reviews, how-to videos, or to purchase our basic bow tuning video download, be sure to visit our website, ikesoutdoors.com. Appreciate you guys watching.